Hello, it's Bryan and Jennifer at Studio 23. We're sitting at the piano.
Yes, and it makes beautiful music with just the right person playing it. We have that person today.
Our guest is Mark T. Jordan, a fantastic musician, songwriter. We're very happy to have him here on the show today.
Can't wait. Some great stories. He's played with all kinds of celebrities. Great songwriter. So get ready, kick back. It's going to be a wonderful show.
Welcome to Studio 23 Nashville with your host, Jennifer Herron and Bryan Cumming. Today's very special guest is Mark T. Jordan.
So he's played with so many of our favorites, toured all over the world, and I said, Mark Jordan, why did you come from Philly and decide this is the place I want to live, Nashville? And the Bluebird Cafe came up right away.
Exactly.
It was that songwriting that pulled you in, huh?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Well, I've written for as long as I can remember, and I've had a little success, nothing like some of my peers and heroes here, but I had a couple songs recorded by Bonnie Raitt, and one of them has been covered by a good number of people, Randy Crawford and Bill Medley as well. So, you know, I've touched the ring as it went by. But,
that's something to brag about.
Well,
tell us about that first night, though, when you went to the Bluebird and it kind of reeled you into the Nashville community.
Well, I had been living in LA actually, and had met my wife there, and I had one friend here in town, and it was Ken Vassie, who was the second lead singer in the first edition behind Kenny Rogers. And he ran a publishing company here, and we talked fairly regularly because I'd worked for Ken when he ran Kenny's publishing at Lionshare in LA, did demos with him, and we hung out. And his wife, Carol, was wonderful. She said, Mark, you and Peggy ought to move here. We could hang out and have a wonderful time. And at the time, I really wanted to just expand my contacts, you know, as a pianist mainly, and of course as a writer. I knew the reputation of Nashville, I hadn't experienced it. So I said, I'll come for a week. And on about the second day I was here, Ken and Carol, who lived in Green Hills, said, well, let's go to the Bluebird and see what's on tonight. And I said, oh yeah, that's good. And I'd heard about the Bluebird. You know, Billy Block had done something like that, or started to do something like that in LA with Western Beat. So we went to the Bluebird, and as it turned out, James Stroud had reserved a table, and they told us, well, if he doesn't come in, you can have it. And the table was like this far from the round, right? And James didn't come in, so Ken and I were seated. And the round was Hal Ketchum, Gary Burr,
Hugh Presswood,
Yeah.
and Bill the Bounty.
Oh, man.
And as the night progressed, my jaw just kept low. Like finally, it was on the table, not just because of the caliber of the songs, but the reverence of the audience to just sit there and go, you know, staring at him.
Yeah, the rule is shh.
Oh, yes.
Everybody listens
It
and
is,
takes
but
it in. Yeah.
my takeaway was, where the heck has this been all my life?
Yeah.
I mean, where you actually get feedback immediately and appreciation on top of that.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh boy. So one thing led to another, and 3 months later, we were looking at houses, and we bought one, and here we are. That was in '93.
Still in
Same
Nashville.
house that you're in now?
Same house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a good choice.
It was a good choice. Our real estate agent was recommended by Ken Vassie, so we owe him a lot.
Yeah, we owe Ken a lot of things.
Yeah, he passed away in 1996 of cancer.
Oh, God.
He was a wonderful mentor and friend to me.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
When did you start playing piano? How did that love start?
Well, my dad was a commercial photographer by day and a classical violinist by night. And he had been on a path to be a concert violinist as a teenager out of Providence, Rhode Island, which is where I was born. And his dad, my grandfather, who I never met, always wanted to be a photographer. So he took a correspondence course. This would have been 20s, maybe 30s, I guess, 1930 something. And opened the first photography studio in Providence. And it wasn't portraits, it was commercial stuff, buildings and catalogs and all that sort of thing. And he died when my dad was 18. So Dad had a 13-month younger sister and a mom, and so that was what you didn't do in those days. You know, you took care of the family first.
Yeah.
So he inherited a business, and he made a 50-year career out of it. But he did end up playing with the Rhode Island Philharmonic, which was a subscribed season. They didn't tour like maybe the Boston or Philly or LA, but they had a 6 or 8 concert season every year. And of course I went to a lot of those, so I was exposed from an early age. And actually my dad started me on fiddle when I was 3, on a little quarter size.
Oh my gosh, the hardest instrument to learn, I
Oh,
think,
yeah.
in my mind.
Yeah, especially if you're a parent, I bet. But when I was 5, he said, well, you know, the piano is so germane to everything you'll do in music, in terms of getting your theory and your counterpoint and accompaniment of singers and knowing about song and solfeggio and all that stuff, that Mom and Dad decided they wanted to have me take 3 or 4 years of piano to get a grounding in it and then go back to the violin. And I guess I made enough progress that 3 or 4 years came and went, and I was still playing piano, so I ended up taking classical piano till I graduated high school and went to college. So maybe 13 years, to start at 5 and ended up at 18. And
I'm really curious how rock and roll entered the picture if you
Yeah,
were trained in
classical.
classical. You obviously had the ability.
well, you know, my first sort of like aha moment in terms of, well, it wasn't so much, well, we didn't call it rock and roll in the late 50s, but it was the early 60s, but Elvis, of course. But my jumping off point was the Everly Brothers.
Oh.
I loved Don and Phil.
But even without a piano on the record?
Yeah.
Just the energy
Yeah,
of it
just
and
the
harmony,
harmonies.
songs.
Oh, the songs and the,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And so I would get their records or their sheet music.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Ah,
Yeah.
they used to
You
have
know?
the sheet music at the record stores,
Yeah. And I could read, so I could play it. And then I always wanted to hear more rhythm and the bass, so I tried to mimic that by expanding the chords, you know, and just not playing. But yeah. You know, trying to put the bass in it, so I was in my own band because I heard it all
Oh, that's
from the
so
records,
cool.
trying to extrapolate the records between the sheet music and what I was capable of.
So
And
you
that
really
started
kinda
me
came-
out, but
Yeah.
really it didn't start for me until I went to college in Philadelphia. And in 1964, everybody was starting a band, you know,
Yeah.
Beatles,
That
Stones.
was it,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, of course, I got together with a guy named Freebo, who you might know as Bonnie Raitt's bass player for many years. And before he was Bonnie Raitt's bass player, he played bass with me in my college band, which was called Edison Electric. And
Did Freebo also play tuba in the marching band?
yes,
at school? Is that
he
right?
was a tuba player and still plays tuba.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
did not know that.
yeah.
So what's it like working with Bonnie Raitt and stars of that caliber? I mean, does the band have much contact with them? Do you just go on stage nightly, know your stuff? Or?
Well, you know, every artist is different, Jenny, and Bonnie is one of those people one of those women who can keep about 7 or 8 ideas floating in her head at the same time and service every one of them equally. So she's really aware of everything. And she doesn't particularly have I mean, she studied piano and she picked up guitar from her manager, Dick Waterman, who had a long and illustrious career as a blues booker and manager. He found Son House and John Hurt in Mississippi after they'd been lost for 30 years in 1964 and managed them. And he also booked the Club 47 in Harvard Square with Jim Rooney over at Jack's Tracks and Alan Reynolds. And Bonnie hooked up with Dick, and Dick showed her this music, and he showed her these guys playing slide guitar. And for a girl from Radcliffe, whose father was John Raitt and grew up with musical theater, I mean, it tore the top of her head off, you know. So she was
Inspired.
very inspired, as you can see. But, you know, she's also tremendously determined, a real hard worker, and loves to play. You know, got great instincts about songs. She picks all her own songs herself. The ones she doesn't write. but she's always been a champion of other people's writing. In her case, yes, she travels on the same bus with the band, and it's very interactive. Some other artists I've worked for, I'll say maybe Winona, travels on her own bus, keeps to herself, other than the times we're at rehearsal. When it's time to go on stage and on a show, the band goes on, she comes out.
Very interesting.
She goes off, the band goes away. So, you know, it really depends on the artist.
Yeah, definitely. I want to hear some more stories from you. We're going to be right back with some more from Mark Jordan here at the piano.
Hickman County, Tennessee. It feels a lot like home, or how home should feel. Come by, sit a spell. Soak in the goodness that inspired Minnie Pearl to write about this special place. Visit Hickman County, Tennessee's hidden treasure.
I've stepped away from the piano here at Studio 23 Nashville so they can make some beautiful music together. Bryan and Mark T. Jordan now in Studio 23 Nashville.
Mark, tell me a little bit about the time you wasted.
Well, this is...
Do we have time?
I think so. I hope we got a little time.
Let's make use of it.
Bryan, yes. This is something that I got from my dear friend, longtime friend and wonderful songwriter John Goodwin, and it was a bare lyric, and he read it to me, and I went, oh, wow, may I have this? And I thought about it for a long time and came up with a kind of a Peter Gabriel-ish thing on the record. We went sort of that way. Yeah. And I don't know, he captures something that, you know, we always, especially at this time of our lives, we look back at things and say woulda, coulda, shoulda, you know. Yeah. And I think he captured it eloquently, so I was thrilled to try and, I was challenged to come up with music that was as strong as the lyric, yeah. And I hope it did. So that's the story behind that.
All right, man. Well, let's do The Time I Wasted.
All right. We go 1, 2, 3.
Could have played the violin with the symphony. Giving hearts with the healing power of timeless melody. We practice without seeing where the road is gonna lead. But the path I chose to follow made a better fool of me. I could have gained most anything if I had only chased it. Oh, the time I wasted. Now I might have been a surgeon, using precious lives, or an analyst of psyches, easing troubled minds, or better yet, a writer of revelationary songs. But I lived for love's distractions, and the road went on and on. I could have claimed my destiny if I'd only chased it. time I wasted. And I might have loved somebody who gave her heart to me. But I let her slip into the crowd, and I called it staying free. I lived among the people where my stories all are told. When I was young they called me crazy, now they say that I'm too old to lie awake and dream about the life I never tasted. Time I wasted. Time I wasted.
I know you've got some stories and some very interesting people in your journeys.
Yes.
One of them that seems fascinating to me is Van Morrison.
Yes, indeed.
You can even quote Van in his authentic Irish accent, I think.
I might be able to.
I love
You
it.
met him in San Francisco?
Yes.
How did that happen?
Well, like every other band, college band, you know, after we made our one and only record for Atlantic, we broke up. And so we had, but not before we had gone to San Francisco and spent the summer in 1968. Well, and that, it was, of course, with our perfect timing, it was the summer after the summer of love.
Yeah, post-love.
Post-love. But we were all like, you know, wow, the
Yeah.
promised land, you know.
Yeah.
So I was with a woman who had a infant daughter who was to become my first wife. And I said, well, you know, nuts to Philadelphia, let's try our luck in California. And it just so happened that I had a friend that had mentioned that maybe Van Morrison was putting a band together in San Francisco. And on the strength of that, not knowing Van, not knowing San Francisco, except from a couple of years earlier when I'd been out there, put everything in the car and loaded it down like the grapes of wrath, and we moved across country. And somehow I found his manager's number and identified myself and was given the opportunity to audition with Van at his house in Marin County. And at the appointed time I went up there and it was just him. We went out to the little recording studio he had in the garage, and he played his gut string guitar and I played a little acrosonic spin-it piano, you know, shorty. And we played for about 16 or 20 songs or something, maybe an hour. And he said, yeah, I like your playing. He says, so what are you doing Friday? And of course I said, you know, well, let me look in the book. Right? And of course there was no book, and I had Fridays until now available. And I said, well, I think it's free. And he says, well, you know where the studio is, don't you? And I went, oh, sure. And it was a record plant in Sausalito, which I never heard of. So I made an effort to drive it beforehand, so I wouldn't look like a fool getting down there. And at the appropriate time, which I think was noon, on that Friday, walked into the studio, and there was Ted Templeman from Warner Brothers, who was very instrumental in my career. Thanks, Ted. And the album we recorded turned out to be Tupelo Honey. And that was my first gig in California.
Whoa.
And I played with Van for a couple of years, and then connected with Dave Mason and was with him for 3 years out of San Francisco. But Van called me back in 2005 for about 5 months. I played with him in Europe exclusively. We went all over Europe. And Jenny, you were talking about different artists. Van's another one. The band would be on stage, and here he walks. And the other thing is, when he walked off, he has still a digital time clock stage left on a mic stand at eyeball height. And when that hits 000, he's out of there.
Oh, that's it.
That's
no
it.
more.
Gone. But he's good about timing it. But then he gets in the limo. They drive him to the airport. He gets in the jet, and he goes home to Belfast every night.
I had no idea.
Getting on his phone from the plane and
Getting-
criticizing the show?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, we used to call it the damage report.
So he's very critical.
Oh, boy, you could say that.
More than that? Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a, let's put it this way, he's a very unique and individual character. And, you know, you cannot
They're
deny...
artistes, those people like that.
Yeah, they are. And, you know, it's a challenge diplomatically, let's put it that way. But it's good because, you know, you learn how to deal with people.
Yeah.
And when to hold your tongue and
Right.
when to maybe make your point. So everyone I've worked for has taught me something. I'm grateful for all of them. But yeah, Van's quite a piece of work. But I've been able to do 4 albums with him. So
You make it sound so easy.
well, I'm not scared about the piano part.
A little
Yeah.
easier, you know, approaching an artist, hunting them down, contacting them, maybe auditioning.
Yes, I'm sure. I'm sure that like we're so inundated with information these days that it becomes a blur. And pre cell phones or internet, you know, you got on either a rotary phone or a touch tone phone and called somebody, and so you had to talk to somebody. They had to pick up the line, and so you know things were at a slower pace. They got done, but yeah, it was probably a little more accessible that way.
Now, a while ago, I squealed when I came in the room and I had found out that he played with Lyle Lovett. I have been trying to tell Bryan about Lyle Lovett. He has not been to a Lyle Lovett show, and I'm like, oh my gosh, and he's got this large band. What was there, like 19 people in the band? 16, okay. Oh, absolutely amazing. He's kind of got that dry sense of humor.
Very dry, very self-deprecating,
Yes.
but it's all calculated. That's all arranged beforehand.
Is he scripted? Don't tell me he's scripted.
No.
Okay.
No, it's all. It's not spontaneous because it's repeatable, but that's him. Yeah, he's very, very particular. One might say OCD.
Oh, okay.
He has he's from Klein, Texas, and he right down the road from where Boss Kaggs is from, who I also played with, Plano. He has a Ford pickup truck with 200,000 miles in it that apparently is as clean as a new car, and you can't eat in it or you can't smoke in it and you know do anything
I
else.
think
that
you told a
humans do.
story about the coffee routine that Lyle Lovett goes through on the bus. Like
Yes. Now here's another artist who sort of keeps his own counsel, because obviously he has his bus, and all the rest of the 16 of us were on another tour bus, and you notice there's 12 bunks, so 2 people were sleeping in the back stateroom and 2 people sleeping on the couches in the front lounge. So, and there were 2 women on the bus too. So that was a exercise in diplomacy for a few months. But Lyle is so meticulous. He gets his coffee special sent up from Klein, and he washes his carafe out with vinegar every day. Okay, and so one day we had to take Lyle's bus to the gig because the band bus was being repaired, and I felt like a cup of coffee. And everybody said, oh, you be careful of Lyle's coffee because it's like, you know, mud, you know. I said, okay, fine. So dutifully, with knowing that in mind, I poured a half cup and cut it with half water. And it was a delicious cup of coffee. And this was before sound check, right? So we go to the gig, and of course, sound checking 16 people takes a little more than, you know, a couple of us. But we got it done, and then we went back to the hotel for dinner, and then came back before the show and dressed in our suits. Got to wear a suit with Lyle. It's a Texas thing.
Right.
And then did the show, and go off stage after the show, and I'm still like I'm still peeking, you know. I'm like, and he's got a cup of this sort of, and you know, he's very, well, you know, he's like, could you play that again? And you know, so he's like very soft, and he's got that sort of little stuff. And I'm thinking, how does he do it? It must be awful noisy up here, you know? Wow! Because I had like a cut cup of coffee, and it just kept me going for like 7 hours.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I love it.
But it was a great show because he wanted it note for note every night. Martina McBride is like that.
The piano part.
Every part.
Oh, I mean, I know horns have to do that.
Yeah, no, but I mean everybody's part. Except if you're doing a solo.
There's no such thing as having a bad night or hitting a bad note.
You better
These
hope
guys,
not.
Yeah.
You better hope not.
Boy.
Because you'll hear about it.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
Next, looking for my next job. We're going to check back in with Mark in just a few and talk about some more of these celebrity encounters and some of his great songwriting as well. Yeah.
Do you want to win friends and influence people? Don't buy a book. Advertise on Studio 23 Nashville. It's easy. Just contact us at studio23nashville@gmail.com.
I want to know a little bit about what made you write about now.
Well, this is from my long-awaited, by me anyway, solo CD project. I hope it'll be out by the fall. And this started out as a lyric from one of my band members, wonderful guy. He's out of Flagstaff, Arizona. His name is Rich Neville. And he and drummer Tim Smith, who were on the recording, were both members of Poco for 15 years. Wow. But that really isn't an accurate description of what they can do, because that was what they did, but they can certainly do a lot more than that. And this started out as a sort of a lyric that I latched onto of his. I just felt something. I said, do you mind if I take this and sort of massage it a little bit? He was very generous. Rich is that kind of guy, and said, you know, go ahead, whatever you like. And so this is what I came up with, and he loved it, and we recorded it, and it was so much fun.
That's very cool. Well, I'm really glad to hear it and to play it, and here we go with Right About Now.
I'm gonna lay some rubber down right about now. few things you ought to know. The guy you've been seeing is parked outside waiting for me to leave. The cat used your new shoes for a litter box. And we're out of coffee. I'm gonna lay some rubber down right about now. I don't care who, when, or how, right about now.
So can we call that a blues song?
We can call that a New Orleans blues song.
Oh, I like it. New Orleans
Yeah.
by way of Flagstaff.
By way of Flagstaff. It took a detour.
It took a detour.
Yeah.
That's so fine, man. It just grooves, Mark. I love how you play.
Thank you, brother.
All right.
Hey, welcome back to Studio 23 Nashville. We've been talking to Mark about all the different celebrities that he's backed on stage, but he himself is in the spotlight these days. New CD we've been talking about?
Yes. After these many years, I've decided I want to make my own CD. It's not country music. I grew up on the East Coast. I went to school in Philadelphia. I was infected with R&B early, East Coast R&B. The Spinners, the Intruders, the Soul Survivors in
Oh,
Philadelphia.
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Expressway.
Worked a little bit with Tom Bell at Cameo Parkway Records in my salad days. And so I've always gravitated towards that side of it. But I also like melody and ballads and the great songbook of the 40s.
Oh,
You know,
I
the
love
Hoagie
40s
Carmichaels and the Johnny Mercers and the Nat Coles and
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Richard Rogers.
Yes.
melody stuff.
yes. So it's a strange place to come from because I've got the classical background, but I guess I've melded or overlaid a real feeling for R&B in New Orleans, second line, you know.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
You can get
So
into it, right?
I love all that stuff. So I've tried to, and I don't have any pretensions that I'm going to be the next Beyonce, or even Bruno Mars for that matter. So it's basically an eclectic bunch of songs.
How
I
old
love
are the
songwriters.
songs? How old is the oldest one on there?
The oldest one is, I want to say 15 years old.
Any that have been cut by other people before?
No, I
It's
didn't.
all fresh.
No.
Yeah, your
Yeah.
tunes.
But most of them have been cut. Most of them been written in the last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
I wanted to get it out while it was still fresh, and I'm
Yeah.
hoping to get some more to do another one.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been fun, and I love the collaborative process in the studio. I've done a lot of studio work, and I just love that idea of creating something out of nothing.
Right.
And boy, have we got some talent in this town. And I've been honored and tickled to play with some of the best. So I love to have that feeling.
Did you say Harry Stinson is helping produce it?
Harry Stinson from Marty.
Yeah, Fabulous Superlatives.
Fabulous Superlatives.
Marty Stewart's band.
And David Hungate
Oh, yeah.
from Toto
Oh, yeah.
are on one track. And then I have Bonnie's band, George Marinelli and Ricky Fattar on drums and Hutch Hutchinson on bass,
Yeah.
on 2 or 3 tracks, including a reggae tune.
Okay.
Ricky Fattar puts a clinic on that tune. It's unbelievable. And Tom Bukovac on guitar and a bunch of things. Rob McNelly on guitar and a bunch of things.
Yeah.
2 of the A-team players that I've known from gigging. Tom from Wino, he was in Winona's band. Yeah.
Do you have any
And
guest vocalists or?
yes, Bonnie Bramlett's singing a duet with me.
Oh, wow.
Oh my gosh!
on this kind
Is
of
that
rave up.
sort of like riding a volcano?
She was sweet as she could be.
Yeah.
And just as soon as I heard her on mic, I was like,
This is the
oh my God.
Then you had to up your game, I bet.
Well,
too.
yes,
Yeah.
you
With
know.
that voice of hers.
Yes.
Yeah.
great, man.
Yeah, she was just as sweet. She's a great gal.
And you invited Edgar Winter.
I have invited Edgar Winter and to play on a song that
That
we'll
we're
be
doing
playing.
here on today's show.
yes, and Rick Vito is playing
great.
some slide for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rick
so,
played with Bonnie.
Yes, and he was in
Fleetwood Mac.
Fleetwood Mac for a couple of years, and now plays with Mick Fleetwood's blues band out of Hawaii.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, nice work if you can get it.
Nice work if you
He
get
also
it.
played with Billy and the Beaters a little while.
Did he? Yes.
Yeah, that's where
Yeah.
I got
And I've
to-
known Rick since my early LA days.
Oh, he's from Philly.
Yes, he's another
That's right, yeah.
Philadelphian. Indeed.
Great. See there, it all comes around.
Yeah.
It all comes around and goes around.
Straighten up and find right.
Now available, Come Out Swingin', the new CD by the Bryan Cumming Jazz Quartet. Come Out Swingin' is available at studio23nashville.com and all major digital retailers.
Sing, come out swinging.
Come Out Swingin' by the Bryan Cumming Jazz Quartet. Get yours today. Be the envy of the neighborhood. Make your friends jealous. Be the first on your block to get official swag from Studio 23 Nashville, Pinkerton Productions, and Bryan Cumming. Just visit our store at the bottom of the page and order yours today.
Tell me your story about this song.
Well, this is another Bear lyric that I framed musically, and this one is from another amazing lyricist, poet, psychic, galaxy traveler from another dimension, Charles John Corto, whom you know really well. And everybody has the ability to put words and sentences together. We all do. Some rare individuals have the ability to just put them together where you read them, they go, oh, you know, the associations that you'd never think of. But they're all there. It's just, and that's what Charles does. He has a magic way with words. And he's prolific in his lyrical writing. He's, you know, he wrote
Geronimo's
Cadillac. He wrote Mama Knows the Highway for Hal Ketchum. And
he's very prolific as a co-writer with musicians.
yes,
I mean,
exactly. He's put out 2 books of poetry and stuff like that. So he's always writing. He's compelled, you know.
Yeah.
And this was one of the ones he presented to me, and there's certain feeling about this that just took me to a different place. And I wanted to make it something that reflected maybe, you know, the great songs of the 40s or something that had a lot of changes and were sophisticated, the Hoagie Carmichaels and
talking about language.
but
Johnny Mercer.
that could
Yeah.
that could stand up to something like that. So again, I was challenged to try and find a setting that would fit, and I hope it did. I like it a lot. Actually, I'm afraid I have to say that, but I apologize for
Well, I
saying
want
that,
to
but-
thank you for offering the opportunity to play saxophone along with you.
Well, man, I've heard you play the saxophone many times, and we've shared the stage together many
Yes,
times.
indeed.
So I know you're up for it, and it's in a horn key. So
I love it.
See?
I love it. Let's go
Just
have
for-
some fun.
just for you. Here we go.
There's a storm coming in, made of rain and gin. Train going by like a friend. Drift in the air from God knows where. Someplace my heart has been. There's a tomcat howling on the neighbor's roof. I believe him 100 proof, 'cause I was already right in the mood. Even the nights got the blues. Even the nights got the blues. Hanging around with nothing to do, and nothing is lost on the moon. Even the nights got the blues. Isn't that what gave Lonesome its name? Worldwide, wide now. Isn't that what made Mississippi John hurt deep inside? There's a storm that's filling the beverage can, pouring sugar on the bitter truth. The morning paper won't come as news. Even the night's got the blues. Even the night's got the blues. Hanging around with nothing to do, and nothing is lost on the moon. Even the night's got the blues. Even the nights has got the blues. Nicely done, Bryan.
Well,
Yeah.
what's the name of the new album? We need to tell everybody where to go to find you, follow you, all that good stuff.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's going to be called The Distance,
Uh-huh.
and it's going to be out independently, and it'll be able to be got at CD Baby and all the
digital retailers.
all the
and,
digital retailers and all that stuff. And I hope to do a couple of showcases in town and maybe a little short touring. Although it's like deja vu all over again. I've toured for 40 years, so I'm not really anxious to get out there. But if the offer presents itself, I'd be happy to go.
Maybe Lyle's bus will be available.
Maybe it
Oh my
will.
gosh.
Yeah.
As long as I don't have to take
Drink
his
the
coffee.
Bring your own. Okay, website, anything like that where I can follow you and find out where you're playing, because I'd love to see you with some of these great
Website being
musicians.
built as we speak.
Okay.
Yes, and it will be up, I'd say within the next 2 months.
Okay.
And
And
it's
it will just be
Mark T. Jordan.
Mark T. Jordan.
Yeah. Everybody in Nashville has 3 names, you know. Actually, there's a story about that too, because there's a very successful, wonderful songwriter named Mark, M-A-R-C, Jordan, who's Canadian.
Yes.
And he was on Warner Brothers when I did a lot of contract work for Warner Brothers. We knew each other and we got confused, particularly by the California IRS, who sent me a bill and said I had understated my income one year for, I don't know, $40,000. And I had to write him back and said, no.
That's another Mark Jordan.
And we actually did the Marky Mark show once. He was down here and we did the Bluebird together.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, and he's a wonderful writer, but he ain't me. So, and I'm not him.
Yeah.
And his wife Amy Sky, who's a wonderful writer, have also moved back to Toronto, which is where they're from. So to differentiate myself, I use my middle initial.
Okay. Mark T. Jordan.
Mark T.
I'm
Jordan,
with you.
Jordan Com.
I'm coming out. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You need to get Bonnie at the show, Winona, Lyle, and let's have one big party.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. I got their numbers.
I love it.
I can call them.
Personal cells. Oh no, after hours. This could be fun. Thanks again to Mark for joining us here on Studio 23 Nashville.
We had a great time.